Hello, and welcome back to the SciClones podcast where two people who are not the same person talk about science fiction, fantasy, sci-fantasy, books, movies, whatever strikes our fancy. I am your host, Dalton.
Am I supposed to... I don't know what to do when you say that, because I'm Dalton and you're not, so, and then you just keep going like nothing happened.
What do you mean? I'm Dalton.
Okay.
Anyways, today we are talking about the Peter Watts science fiction book Maelstrom, which is the sequel to his book Starfish, which we covered a few episodes ago.
Which is like a year ago at this point.
Yeah, we're not very consistent.
Well, it did take me a while to finish this book. Don't tell Peter Watts, but I listened to the audio version. I feel like if he finds that out, he might kill me, so don't tell him.
He does have the books for free on his website, so...
Yeah, but not audiobooks.
That's true.
I don't know how to read.
That's true.
It makes it hard to do a podcast.
You're just a small town boy.
Yeah, it makes it hard to do a podcast about reading books when you're illiterate, so...
Yeah. So, Peter Watts, we did talk about him a little bit in the Starfish episode, but we can just kind of do a couple details here. So he's a science fiction author and a marine mammal biologist back in the day. He was born in 1958 in Canada. And fun fact about him, apparently he can't come into the U.S. because he has like a felony against him.
And it's probably because his hockey team sucks. Go Carolina Hurricanes. Woo! The Montreal Canadiens suck.
Yeah. If anybody's a fan of the Montreal Canadiens...
Stop listening. You're not welcome here.
Apparently this is a hostile environment for you. But, so, Maelstrom, he wrote it in 2001.
Okay, yeah, I thought... do you all know offhand how much of a gap between Starfish and Maelstrom there was?
I feel like Starfish was like 98 or 99. Okay, so
a couple years.
Couple years.
And it's the second in the trilogy. I don't know if we mentioned that. This is a trilogy of books.
Yep, so the last book is called Behemoth. It's split into two parts. I don't know if we'll cover it.
So it's two books?
It's two books.
We might have to do like a double book extravaganza just to finish the series off.
Yeah.
And I guess we should mention we did do the first book. I don't know if you said that.
I did say that.
So if you want to watch the episode about that before this one, it might give you some more context.
Yeah.
It's like the most viewed of our podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a cult following of Peter Watts.
Count me in. I love this guy.
That's fair.
So we can just kind of start off with some of the plot overview. Probably won't go too much into details of the plot, but just more of a discussion. So it takes place pretty much right after the events of Starfish. It picks up right there.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know if it took right after. I know they have talked about some events about, like, at the end of Starfish, there was the explosion. I believe that's what it was. The brain cheese decided that the best course of action was to blow up Behemoth, like this virus that spawned at the bottom of the rift. Right? Okay, you're just staring at me. I'm like, I'll make sure that's right. And because of that, there was a giant tsunami that wiped out pretty much the whole western seaboard.
Yep.
Pretty much. So we take place after that, some of the aftermath of that. But following our main character, I honestly didn't know what the gap was. Because it seemed like, because she came to, like, right at the beginning of the book. Because last time we saw her, was she the one in the submarine, or did she swim away? She
was in the lifter with Joel. And they got shot down.
Right, I forgot they got shot down.
Yeah, very sad. Mm-hmm. Joel, rip.
Because she does have a moment where she kind of talks to him, like, or reminisces about him.
Yeah, because he drowns, or
right.
he dies from the pressure.
Right, and because she talks about it right at the beginning of the book, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah, because he wasn't a main character, but he was like one of the almost like a comedic relief in a book that's very emotionally heavy.
Yeah, very grim. He was pretty lighthearted guy, but so she comes to at the bottom of the ocean and she's pissed.
Yes. Because
her quote unquote friends are dead and someone tried to kill her. Someone obviously stuck her down there without telling her everything that was going on with like the nuke and stuff. So she's pissed. She wants to go find out who did this to her. So she starts crawling along the bottom of the ocean, headed to the western seaboard.
She finds, I don't know what the order of operations is, but generally she finds a bunch of refugees, and then like kind of this cult-like refugees figure. I can't remember his name because it's been so long.
Amitov?
Amitov. And eventually runs into this iBot, which is kind of this character that we follow who's in like Montana, who is kind of using this iBot to help like clean up the mess after the tsunami comes in.
So apparently they have a big refugee problem on the West Coast in the book. And so, yeah, there are a bunch of them on this place called the Strip. On the Strip where they sort of live there, and the idea is like, oh, well, you guys are there temporarily until, you know, we get you in. But really they just are there forever. So this iBot is just like this floating. It's like I pictured it as like the ones from Fallout 4, the little floaty guys, is being controlled by a pilot named Suhan. She's the one who's in like Montana, and she comes across Lenie, our main character, when she's sort of living with the refugees.
Yeah, and kind of from there, I don't know how much detail we want to get into the plot, but it's pretty much just Lenie's revenge tour across the United States into Canada. Or I guess, does she start? I don't know. I guess, is she in, they call it Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Is that where she is? Or is she like farther down? Because she eventually ends up in the United States. I guess I never thought about that.
I think she's farther. Well, I'm not sure, because she ends up like in Sault Ste. Marie, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of close to where we are.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, I guess, where she is on the West Coast. But she has some issues trying to get, like, almost adapted back to shore. She's just, like, so wanting to go back to the bottom of the rift. She has issues with some of the refugees. She ends up accidentally killing Amitov? Right? Because doesn't she... Does she shock him, or she shot a child?
A child. Because she has this, like, explosive device that they used at the bottom of the rift to, like, scare off sea creatures. And she accidentally, like, does it by this child, except she forgets that, like, the pressure down there is, like, 1,000 times more. So the explosion is bigger on land. So she, like, it blows up a child. Yeah.
And that kind of starts her, like, almost sort of, like, folk hero-like arc, where that... people seem to just know who she is, and as she continues her travel, she becomes more and more popular, and you can kind of see that in like different sections throughout the book. I don't know, do we want to talk about all of Lenie's stuff and then the second like kind of plot line, or do you want to talk about them in tandem?
Oh, we can kind of do one and then the other. So she unknowingly is carrying this microbe behemoth. And as she goes along her revenge tour, it starts spreading out behind her. And so there's a big component in the book with, like, AI, which is, you know, a little prescient given it's from, 2001?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Asimov's book was already a
That's
thing,
true.
Right?
Yeah. But, so the AI and the computer, which is called, the internet, which is called Maelstrom, because it's just sort of this, like, full of viruses and
like
AI, and it's all...
Like they talk about, like, just horrible things that are on it at all times.
Yeah, they have to have, like everything's sort of evolving. It's like a predator-prey evolutionary mess. Mm-hmm. So it kind of picks up Lenie Clark because people start talking about her. And as she's going on this tour, the AI picks up the Maelstrom picks up Lenie Clark. And then the people who are trying to find her to clean up the mess, which we can talk about them in a little bit, they kind of put it into Maelstrom that Lenie Clark is like a priority hit. And so as a result, these sort of like natural selection in the internet, she becomes more and more of like a thing. Like it sort of propagates itself.
I listened to this like over a month, so maybe wrong, but I thought Behemoth had a hand in like changing Maelstrom. Was that not?
So Behemoth is just the microbe.
Right. So the Maelstrom was just adapting to Lenie Clark by the influx of her core across the country and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I knew that at one point she tried to... Actually, it might have been Deja Dan tried to like look her up, and they found her, but they never found any other records for any of the other people that were at a BB station. And I guess I thought it was something to do with, like, somehow the behemoth had hacked into the internet, but it's just like but it was just like Maelstrom was picking up her path, and it was just like amplifying it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the people who were looking for her were like, hey, filter out things that mention Lenie Clark.
Oh, so it's like inadvertently like making her a big thing in Maelstrom.
Because they're
like trying to find her still.
They're trying to find her, and so then, Lenie Clark starts being associated on the internet with the word behemoth, and so then that starts propagating.
Gotcha.
And
so it was just like like Maelstrom as an AI was kind of adapting and was focusing on her, which amplifies her presence, and that's why like we see in the book that like there's like the Rifter Chic, which is like people dressing up like they're at the rifts or at the bottom of the ocean and things like that with like contacts to make their eyes white, but it wasn't really like the what do they call them?
I think they call them like eye caps.
Eye caps, yeah.
Yeah, and so she starts getting nicknames like Meltdown Madonna.
They call her like a mermaid. Like the refugees said she was like a mermaid and stuff. They were calling her.
And so, because wherever she goes, Behemoth appears, and then the people who are trying to contain Behemoth contain it very violently, shall we say. So like they will like she'll be so like at the strip with the refugees. After she left that, these big airplane things came and just firebombed the whole strip and everyone on it
to try to prevent Behemoth, because they're worried about it like just killing everybody,
like
right?
the entire like eco the biosphere.
Yeah, because it's like completely different to any virus or anything that we have, because it like evolved under like such high pressure, which I think is kind of like supposed to be the whole thing. Like she evolved under high pressure, and that's why she's the way she is.
She's the micro.
Whoa, dude. Which, okay, I don't want to jump the gun too early, but she goes across. She's trying to get home. Is the thing. I don't know if we know when we know that's where she's going for sure. Mm-hmm. But she goes across. She's still completely mentally unstable, which makes sense because of all the stuff that she's been through. And she ends up like finding this like family who's like trying to escape.
Oh yeah,
like this father and daughter, and she immediately thinks that he is molesting the child, and that doesn't seem to be true, and she tries to kill the father, and the daughter's like, what are you doing? And then she escapes into a lake.
Yeah, so she starts seeing these visions. She starts seeing, like, they're almost like flashbacks that, like, block her view.
Yeah.
Of, like, a happy family. Like happy memories of her family. And she's like, wait a second, I had a horrible childhood.
Yeah.
What are these?
And I think she increasingly has these headaches and things like that, and she continually goes to different like med facilities to try to see what's wrong with her, and there's like a laundry list of things that like she's deficient in, but there's nothing that actually says like why she's having these visions and things like that. Mm-hmm. And she just continues her rampage across the world. Okay, so I guess trigger warning or something, I guess I don't know what you say, but like she like purposely, like, I don't know what the correct word, but purposely lets herself be raped.
Because she starts getting an idea that, like, she's carrying infected. Something.
Yeah, so she's, like, finding horrible people and letting them do horrible things to her to get them infected so that way that they die.
Yeah.
Which I feel like there's probably, just, like,
easier way to do that.
Like spit blood in their face or something and run away.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or just kill them. Like she can do that, but
yeah, I guess it's just like she's trying to, I don't know, use her trauma in an empowering way to like tell them like you guys
like,
suck. I don't know.
Get revenge immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as she's going across, we kind of get another character, Achilles, Desjardins.
Mm-hmm.
Desjardins. Deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
So he is a part of, they're called lawbreakers, which is short for second law breakers. I had to look this up. I don't think it says this in the book, which is the second law of thermodynamics is that entropy in a system can only increase. So like disorder and randomness can only increase. So the job of the lawbreakers is to try and fight entropy. So he's the one who's doing damage control for Behemoth. So basically like, if we kill 1 million of these refugees, we could potentially save 1 billion people. And so the odds balance out.
So before Behemoth, he was just working on Maelstrom to prevent hackers from like taking down like hospital services, but then at the same time being like, okay, well, I'll let them take down the hospital here to protect the hospital here, and it's like causes hundreds of people to die.
Yeah.
But they have like some sort of conditioning that
it's like it's like some sort of genetic coding or something. The guilt trip.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain that a little bit better? Because
Sure.
I was always a little confused. Like it's like they don't feel guilt, so that way they're able to make the hard decisions that a person who would feel guilty for killing. It's like the trolley problem where it's like, but you feel no guilt either way you do it.
So then it's like, oh, well, of course you would save the 4 people.
Instead of the 1.
Because...
And you wouldn't hesitate to save the 4.
Yeah.
Because you have no guilt of killing the 1.
Yeah. So, as what I understood it, we're probably getting some of these details wrong, but it's okay. Guilt trip, yeah, it like prevents you from feeling guilt. And if you start like second guessing yourself or wanting to like leak corporate secrets or whatever, you basically like go have a seizure and die.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a dual purpose thing because it prevents you from like sharing job secrets, but then it also prevents you from having a mental breakdown because you're responsible for millions of deaths.
Yeah, and Deja Dan is kind of like one of the better lawbreakers, so he gets recruited into trying to contain Behemoth because of that. And he's a weirdo.
He's weird.
Like, he's just, like, there's multiple scenes about how he, like, doesn't want to have intimacy with women, but will, like, have robots.
He's, like, AI, like, or, like, not AI, like, VR.
But apparently everyone at every bar he goes to wants to have sex with him, but he's like, no, I don't touch that.
Only VR women.
It's very weird.
It's weird. In the 3rd book, you figure out why he's like that.
Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I thought Deja Dan was supposed to be like Peter Watts' self-insert. Like,
I hope not.
My brain's so big, and I can't, like, I don't even have time for women because I'm figuring out all this AI stuff.
No, he has, like, Achilles has very violent tastes, I think, when it comes to sex.
Too, yeah.
So he just prefers to do it in VR, so that way he doesn't feel guilty about what he does. So he has a coworker named Alice, and she comes in more in the 3rd book as well. But should I go and talk about, what is it called, like Spartacus?
Yeah, because she doesn't have guilt trip.
She does.
I thought she didn't. Because I thought she's like a rebel, like that wants to be against Nampak.
Because I thought
Nampak?
Nampak. She had, or Caesura, I think is like the company they work for.
Gotcha.
But I think she had guilt trip, but she engineers an infectious agent that will remove it.
Oh, and that's how Achilles figures out he doesn't have it either.
Because she gives that to him.
Yeah, to like help. Because she wants him on her side to kind of fight against
she's like,
government.
They're making us slaves, basically. So this is supposed to... It backfires.
Does it?
In the 3rd book.
Oh, in the 3rd book it backfires?
But, so, that's sort of like in the last, I guess, 3/4 of the book, Achilles finds out that he's free of the guilt trip, and he's pissed. Because he's like, well, what? Like, I can't do my job now? Like, what...
Well, because his whole entire life falls apart because a 3rd character... I'll say in this book, there's 3 main characters. Achilles, Lenie, and... Lubin.
Hell yeah, I love him.
Lubin's weird because...
He is weird.
We kind of find out that maybe he's just, like, completely brainwashed and controlled by the company. Like, he doesn't really make decisions. He just is kind of like an assassin for hire for them. And that seems to be, like, what his motive was on BB Station. And now his whole thing is trying to track down Lenie Clark. Mm-hmm. And for the first half of the book, I don't think has he contacted his, like, handlers at that point?
I don't think so.
Because he also goes to the med stations and he's like, am I fucked?
Yeah.
Because does he also have Behemoth? Or was he not down there long enough?
I don't remember.
We should have refreshed the book a little bit.
We really should have. I apologize to our listeners.
But it ends up, like, he goes and, like, kind of kidnaps Deja Dan.
Yep.
And that's where I think Lubin kind of assumes that Deja Dan is, like, doesn't have guilt trip. And I think that's how he learns. And then I think doesn't, like, Lubin eventually, like, towards the end of the book, Lubin discovers that he can kind of break his own
So
brainwashing
when
thing,
he
too.
goes to kidnap Achilles, which it's a funny scene.
very
Achilles
weird.
like is in the middle of like banging some VR girl, and then
Lubin shows up naked, don't he?
is he naked?
I thought
I thought Achilles was naked.
Lubin eventually becomes naked.
At some point, he does become naked.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be several times.
Well, I thought it was because like he had to do something he's like the doctor shows up or something and is like checking him out and he's
that's
like
right.
naked and like I don't know if I think they're at Achilles' house or something and he's also naked. It's very weird.
It's very weird. But so when Lubin goes to interrogate Achilles, he also gets Alice's anti-guilt trip agent.
Mm-hmm.
And so then his guilt trip gets removed.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like all the bad things he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of leads... So that's pretty much the whole premise.
Yeah.
We boiled it down into like 20 minutes. But that's pretty much what happens. And then these kind of like 3 branching paths kind of lead together.
Converge. Well, there's sort of a 4th character, which is Maelstrom itself.
Right.
Because that evolves over the course of the book too.
Yeah.
And it becomes this sort of big AI conglomerate called Anemone. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
And God, I don't remember much about what that does.
Yeah. It doesn't really play that... Like, the whole point of the book that I got was, like, following these characters and then Maelstrom's fucking up in the background. Because it kind of comes to head where... I can't remember what city they're in, but Lenie and Lubin kind of merged together. Like, I think they're maybe outside of her hometown. I don't think I'd gotten to it yet. And there's a chance for Lubin to kill Lenie with, like, the shock thing. And he, like, has a second guess and, like, doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And that kind of develops his character as, like, he's, like, this built assassin, but now he has no guilt trip, or whatever thing was called, and now he can't do his job anymore.
So, but now he can decide, so he does not end up killing Lenie.
No. Because I think at this point, Lenie has kind of discovered what her visions mean.
Yes.
And it turns out that, is it Dr. Griffin? Is that the lady's name?
Well, there's Rowan.
Rowan.
Patricia Rowan.
Patricia Rowan.
She's like the head of this company.
It finds out that they weren't really finding people with traumatic backgrounds and experiences to go down to the rift.
Lenie was the first.
Was she? So
Yeah.
she was the only... Okay.
She was the only one, yep.
So Lenie didn't have a horrible childhood. They implanted those memories to, like, harden her to put her down at the BB station to kind of, like, be able to control or, like, be able to handle being down on the rift, I guess.
Rift, yeah. So their logic was, instead of finding these horrible, fucked up people, which there seem to be an abundance of, and training them, which is really difficult, it's easier to find a normal person and train them and then make them fucked up so they can live down there.
And that's what they did to her. And it seems like either Behemoth or just, like, her brainwashing was falling apart, and she was actually having visions of her normal
Happy childhood.
where her father wasn't a horrible person, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
So when she got to the house, she realized that, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, she looked up her family in that town, and there was never like a Clark family that lived there.
Yeah.
Because that never existed. She's not from...
Yeah. So she doesn't know.
Did I say that town? Sault Ste. Marie?
Sault Ste. Marie, yeah.
She's not from there. Because that's not where her family's from. It was all fake memories instilled in her.
So that makes her doubly pissed
Yeah.
at Patricia and the company, because what the hell,
Yeah.
she has lived her whole life thinking, well, not her whole life, but recent life, thinking that she, was raped as a child and all this horrible things.
Well, and that's completely developed her worldview.
Yeah.
Like her, I don't know what you would even call it. Like her, I don't know if like hatred of men, but like distrust of men. Like all of these men that she's met throughout her journey across the country has always seen like the men there, like with that father and daughter, always viewed them as this horrible predator, regardless if they are or not. So her memories of her having a horrible childhood has like developed her whole worldview, and that's completely not what happened at all.
Yeah.
So now like it seems like her anger is completely shift to the people that
caused
this.
Caused it to her. So basically the whole book is sort of like this horrible, depressing road trip of Lenie and Lubin trying to catch up to her, and Achilles trying to contain all of the damage.
Yeah.
And it's... I really liked it because I didn't like it as much as Starfish.
Yeah. Well, there's a last scene in the book.
Go ahead.
Because she gets to her house, and Lubin kind of lets her leave again, if I'm remembering correctly. And she eventually goes and finds where all the rich people are.
Down in the bottom of the ocean.
And, like, infiltrates their facility. So, presumably, exposing them all to Behemoth. Isn't that the whole ordeal there? Because she confronts Rowan there.
She confronts Rowan, but I don't think she's a carrier of Behemoth anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she says that to Rowan. So she goes down there and confronts Patricia and is like, you bastard corporate fiends are just going to stay down here and we're not going to let you leave. Like, no matter how things turn out up on the surface, this is like your prison now.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
They're kind of horrible people.
They are horrible people. I mean, they kind of, at least Rowan sort of tried to do the right thing.
Well, I mean, I guess, but she was like using like, instead of making the right decisions in the first book, she used the brain cheeses to make these like complex decisions and was pretty much making child soldiers by implanting, well, I guess I don't think they did as a child. She was an adult.
I don't think so, yeah.
Brainwashed her. But like brainwashing people to use as pawns.
Yeah, to work in their
their
subsea stations.
Yeah, which I guess, I think they may have said at the beginning of the book, but did they know that Behemoth was down there before they sent them down there? Because they were just supposed to be down there to work for the energy. Right?
Yeah, I think they maybe had an idea that something was there because previously, like I think they had said that people who had been building the station, like there was a fire in the shipyard, and then this guy like these people just like had heart attacks or whatever. So I think they kind of knew.
Yeah, but in 2001, he kind of predicted COVID and AI.
Dude, the AI
the
stuff
2020s
is kind of
he predicted it.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? That's pretty much the print. We covered it over very shortly, like in a short amount of time. But we kind of talked in the back end that like we didn't really want to go through every plot beat because if you even know the end, there's still a lot of good like portions of the book that we skipped, so you could still read it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what we kind of decided, that we don't want to give like plot point by plot point. You just read through it because we still want people to be able to go read the book too.
Read the book. We're just sort of discussing it. Yeah.
But how do you feel about the fact that none of her memories, Lenie's memories, were real, and how that was kind of the big linchpin in about her relationships in the first book?
So,
do you think it takes away from the fact that like how she acted and stuff, like it's not fake because it's real to her, but it's like there's some like complex thing where it's like her worldview was developed by unreal memories, so all the experiences that she had and all the feelings that she had at BB Station were almost kind of fake, but they were real to her. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't know if it discredits like the kind of the first book's like tone when it's all fake.
Yeah, I didn't like that twist. I personally thought it was kind of unnecessary because it's like, oh, okay, she was a normal person, so what?
Yeah.
You know, I like it better if she was also just like fucked up from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, because it feels like everything just rings more hollow now.
Yeah.
That like she didn't really have the background, like the background to feel that way.
Yeah.
But she did because that's what she thought happened.
Yeah, but like all the other people down there actually had those experiences, presumably,
right.
And she didn't.
And she seemed the most damaged out of everyone down there. I mean, besides guy who Gary Fisher.
Right?
Yeah.
The pedo.
Yeah. Besides him. But I don't know. I enjoyed the second book more because in the first book, not that there wasn't a plot, but it was a lot more character driven, and I just didn't really find the characters that intriguing to me.
No one is likable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really rooting for anybody. I'm just kind of waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
But there was plot points that happens, and there was like points where the the scientists would have, like, their scenes with the scientists and Dr. Rowan and things like that. But this book actually had, like, a forward plot. There was a goal at the end of it. Like, Lenie wanted to get home. Like, Desjardins was trying to contain Behemoth. All the aftermath of all the stuff happening. Like, the relationship with the iBot lady and her husband, and how she slowly, like, devolves about, like, being more hopeful for the world to be completely, like, apathetic to what happens and just
she kind of like loses her marbles a little bit.
Because it was also because Lenie at every turn prevented her from helping her.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like, what was her name again?
Suhan
wanted to help Lenie, and Lenie didn't want help from someone that she viewed was part of the same group of people that did this to her.
Yeah.
And so I think that is kind of, like, she saw all the destruction and this, and she's trying to do good, and the only person that she can see that is trying to do good, kind of, is Lenie, and she doesn't want help from her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought the second book was better. I don't know if that's the consensus among fans, because you seem to like the first book better.
I like the first book better, but I do like the second book a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely more plot driven.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first book, like you said, kind of plants the seeds, you know, and you're just like, oh, down in it's very sort of claustrophobic one setting. And then this book, like, you're watching the apocalypse start to unfold. And I think I do like it because it feels a little bit timely, I guess, right now. Their world isn't as nice as the one that we're in, I guess, but they're like these little things that you see start kind of popping up here and there in the beginning of this book that really, it just sort of snowballs into, like, complete chaos. Like, by the end of this book, like, they're firebombing, like, the entire West Coast to try and prevent the spread of Behemoth, and there's, like, quarantines going up everywhere, and people who got infected are starting to die, and it's...
Yeah, there seems to be an actual revolution, too. Lenie runs into people who, like, want to help her and kind of run interference for her so that way she can escape some different situations where she gets kind of cornered.
Because it's, like, it seems sort of like this big overturn revolution has been sort of coming for a long time, and now that she's sort of the face of it, people are like, all right, let's get this going. Like, she's leading this whole revolution, sort of changing the order.
Yeah. But I could definitely see, if you really liked the first book, that you might not like the second book. I wasn't a big fan of the first book, and I kind of...
You liked the second book more.
Yeah. Like, I didn't like the first book as much, but I liked the second book more, so I could see, like, how that could flip-flop. But overall, yeah, I thought it was decent. It took me a long time to get through it, because there was definitely some scenes. Mostly, I call him Desjardins. I don't know how you're actually supposed to say Achilles. That were just rough. They were rough to listen to. They were rough to get through. It was always like, I'd be good listening to Lenie's parts, and then I would get to him, and I'd be like, I gotta give me about a week before I want to listen to this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything?
Yeah. The third book, it's not as good, and Peter Watts has even said that it was kind of trash.
Because it's two books at the end, though.
He wrote it as one, but they made him publish it as two.
Okay, but like, not one or the other is a little better. They're both kind of not great.
I think they're both okay. Achilles becomes much more of a major character, and I don't really like where he goes. Yeah.
Because I guess you know more about the series than I do. Was it meant to be a trilogy, or was the first one very good, and then his publisher decided that it wanted to be the trilogy? Because I could see the first book ending on that kind of cliffhanger and just being the end of it.
Yeah. So, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was just the one book, maybe two, and then his publishers wanted him to write a third.
Yeah, because the second book also could end, like, after they kind of threaten, the bourgeoisie. Right? Is that how you say that?
Yeah, sure.
Like, the government people, the people in charge, that they have to stay in this prison forever.
Yeah, and then you don't know how things turn out.
Yeah, so that could be a good ending, too. Like,
yeah,
the people who did all the bad things are in pretty much an underwater jail, and then people who were trying to run the revolution is going to try to take this horrible place that they have and make it a better place.
Yes.
That could be the end.
And Behemoth could destroy the whole planet.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. So that could have been a good ending as well. So I could see it being like not a trilogy. I don't know how easy that is to look up because I'd assume it would have to be some sort of interview that he did.
Yeah.
So
or we could ask him.
We could.
I emailed him one time and he responded, and I was very excited about that.
I know. Now I feel like we're best friends with him.
We're not. I don't know him at all.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Any other last thoughts?
I would recommend this trilogy. I think the internet stuff, like the internet and AI stuff in Maelstrom specifically, the way that things are sort of evolving and they sort of have like a pseudo sentience. Mm-hmm. It's really timely with like the rise of the AI.
Yeah.
Now it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
And let's just not put AI in charge of big decisions,
yeah.
even though they're using it now in like military applications.
Oh, that's like a whole thing right now.
We're not going to get into that.
But yeah, I did think that the brain cheese stuff in the first book was better than how they talked about Maelstrom in the second book, though. I don't know if you agree with that, but in the first book, there like that whole chess versus checkers thing that the one professor was talking about with the brain cheese, and that's how he realizes that what decision it's going to make wasn't the idea that like if there wasn't people to infect, then the behemoth wouldn't be able to infect people? Or am I misremembering that?
No, the brain cheese, head cheese, it was always going for the more parsimonious outcome, which was to let behemoth out. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I like that discussion more, I guess, than Maelstrom, because Maelstrom, he's got weird.
It did.
Because, like, all the viruses that
there's
were
some
popping
chapters that are, like, following a file.
Yeah, whereas, like, kind of acting like it was, like, evolving as, like a organism evolves.
Yeah.
Which were kind of fun, but... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you read the book, it wouldn't be as fun, but when you listen to it on 3 times speed, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, because you have ADHD.
Yeah.
It
wasn't bad. I would listen to it at 3 times speed, and it still took me, like, a month to listen to.
You said it wasn't bad, and then you're like, oh, I had to slog through it.
Well, it was just because like there was just like parts where after I listened to it, I just didn't want to. I was like, I don't really want to listen to this more. Like the part where like Lenie let herself be assaulted by that guy.
That's a little.
And I was
rough.
like, what the. Like it's like that, that Family Guy meme. It's like I just sat down. Like why would you tell me that? It was like that. It's like okay.
Definitely, it's.
And then it was like from his perspective too, so it was like I don't know, like did she cut herself on the inside? It was just very to infect him with her blood, and I was like, if it's just blood, you cut yourself and like fucking pocket sand him with your blood or something. Yeah. But it's like she wanted to take. Yeah, it was weird.
It's weird. It's very. I would not want to live in this world.
No.
Of these books, it's very dark. Everyone takes drugs and is infected,
bad.
And everyone's mad and rapey and.
Yeah. So, I don't remember, we usually list our books. I don't remember where we have as our list right now. But I'll just pop them on screen. We'll talk about it later where you want to rank them. I would probably guess that I would probably rank this above the first book, but below most of the other books.
That we've done.
Maybe except for Micro.
If we keep doing that, we're going to be like, okay, this is going to be number 135.
I know. Hey, but it's fun, so that way you can keep up.
It is.
Like our book list, like a tier list. Maybe that's what we should do instead. Instead of a list of like 1 through whatever, we could just pop them into tiers. So we'll have like your tier list where it's like, S through, I don't know what people used to do, F. I feel like that's too many because you would have S, A, B, C, D, E, F. Or
S?
E.
What is F?
S tier is like better than A tier.
Oh, okay. But S is below A in the alphabet.
Yeah, but I don't know why it's called S tier, but anyways. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, that'd probably be more beneficial in the long run. Mm-hmm. I would put this in the top tier, S tier.
So S tier is like the best books you've ever read in your entire life.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I like Starfish better.
You'd still put it in S tier?
Okay, maybe the one
but even
below.
Like it's a downgrade.
Maybe A tier.
Yeah, you can't. I can't say. I feel like if you can't. It's like it's a tier list. So like if you put Starfish in S. And you like Maelstrom less than that, I feel like it can't be an S still.
That's true.
I feel like this is a solid B or C. I don't know where I'd put it. But with if you didn't read the first book, I feel like...
it would be so confusing.
I don't know. I feel like you could still listen to it. It would be okay with this.
You don't know who anybody is or what they're doing.
Yeah,
or...
but like the first book didn't have a lot of plot.
That's true.
You could read like the cliff notes of the first book and then be like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's
because not a lot happens.
Not a lot happens, but
yeah, I guess we haven't talked about what we're gonna do next, but we did. Did we decide if this falls into sci-fi?
Yeah,
the Backrooms movie.
That's true. We did see the
just
Backrooms yesterday.
So maybe we'll record another
creepy.
Episode tomorrow or something, so that way you don't have a month between them.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Because that's kind of sci-fi, right?
Yeah, it was kind of sci-fi.
It's science fiction.
It's sort of, I mean, it's fiction.
Yeah.
Hopefully, or is it?
Ooh.
Yeah, so we could do the Backrooms while it's fresh.
Yeah, and then think of something for the next book, but yeah.
Yeah, well... Thank you for tuning in to the SciClones podcast. I hope you enjoyed. We love comments, so any Peter Watts fans, drop your comments. I'll try to respond to them if I think of it. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, and we will see you on the next one.